In learning the second language, there are a lot of causes as to how we learn the language this way. Well, in this video discussion, together with English 1B, let us discover what are these variables that affects how we learn the second language. We are going to discuss about the causative variables in second language acquisition. So last time, we already discussed the two, but then we are going to have a recall regarding these first two, which are the comprehensible input and the affective filter. So first, again, what are these causative variables if you remember? These causative variables are what? Anyone? What is these causative variables?
Input hypothesis po and affective filter po.
Okay, thank you, Miles. Nag-on na yung mic niya. So, right. Those are the two causative variables so far that we have discussed. We discovered that these variables affect how we acquire second language. Take note, we are talking about acquisition, not entirely the learning. More on natural acquisition of the second language, which is the English language. So, with this, as what Mal said, we have this comprehensible input that whatever we teach to the students should be one level, only one, not two, not three, or not less one, not less two, one level higher than his or her current level. If you give enough comprehensible input, regardless if you do it in the classroom, regardless if it's outside, in the playground, in work, for sure, that student or that person will be able to require second language. Okay? So the setting is irrelevant, but the comprehensible input is the major reason or the major cause as to why or as to how we learn the second language. If you put less comprehensible input, for example, you enroll, this is just an example, you enroll a person into an all-English speaking school. Okay, this is just an example. All English speaking school yung inenrollan mo. But then, that school doesn't give enough comprehensible input. Now, according to the research that we have discussed, no matter how good the school is, for example, no matter how many speakers of English language are there in that school, if there's not enough comprehensible input given by the teacher, given by the person he or she talked to, therefore, no acquisition of language will happen. Okay? Walang mangyayaring pag-acquire ng language, ng English, kapag walang sapat na comprehensible input. That's why in Fatman and in Hale and Bodar's researches, what we discovered, mas natututo pa yung hindi naka-enroll sa ESL class. Okay? But enrolling in a class is good if you give them enough comprehensible input like in Breyer and Shihara. What we discovered there is that these students' only source of this comprehensible input are in school. Kasi paglabas nila, hindi naman na nila ginagamit yung language na yun, yung English language or yung second language nila. So, one factor is the comprehensible input. The second factor is the affective filter. What we discovered from affective filter? Angel, what did we discover from affective filter? Ano si Angel? How about Chloe?
Learner's attitude po.
Okay, about learner's attitude. And at the same time, aside from the learner's attitude, when will the learners learn or acquire the language better? What kind of atmosphere, what kind of um, attitude, what kind of personality or characteristic does he or she has? Anong dapat meron sa learner na yun? We discovered that if that child has a positive attitude in learning the language, therefore, mas matututo siya ng language. But, if that person has a negative attitude, parang ayaw niyang matuto, kasi affective yung emotion niya towards that. Kapag hindi okay, therefore, it will not be an effective acquisition of language. Walang mangyayari. Okay, so the attitude, the personality, the motivation of the student to learn the language, it has a great factor in learning. Okay, so for the third is what we are really going to discuss here. So we have here the exposure variable. Ba? Of course, we will learn this language if we use it with the people around us. And we hear the people listening or maybe using the language whenever you interact with someone, whenever you create a conversation. Therefore, that person is already exposed and subconsciously you are acquiring that units of language. So, it's stated here that exposure variable is indirect. When we say indirect, it is what? Not really intended to do. It is not an intention of the person to what? To learn this language through exposing himself. Okay? Kaya siya indirect. Hindi mo siya talaga ginagawa. Nangyayari na lang siya. The exposure. And then, the longer the exposure to language, the better proficiency for such language. I think you're also aware with this. For example, si Kat, she lived in the United States, for example, for 1 year. When she came back, you will notice the language or the way she uses the language is different from the way she uses it before she goes or she went to United States. Magkaiba. Kasi nga, yung proficiency, nakuha niya, na-expose siya sa mga tao dun sa United States. Kaya umayos yung parang dila niya. Ganon. Kaya nga sabi, in learning the language, the practice is very important as well as the use of that language with the people around you. And then, lastly, it is stated that it is measured by the length of residence. Length. Gaano ka katagal sa lugar na yon? 1 month ka lang ba? 2 months? 1 year? 3 years? 10 years? So, ang sabi dito, if you live long on that place, for example, gusto mo matuto ng English, kaya tumira ka sa Canada. So, tumira ka doon ng 1 month. Would that month be enough to learn the language, the English language? I doubt. Kaya dapat mas matagal ka doon. Kaya nga may tinatawag na LOR or length of residence. Mas matagal kang nagstay sa lugar na yon, mas ma-expose ka at mas makukuha mo yung puso ng language na inaaral mo, which is the second language. Okay? So, what are the researches to base or maybe to prove that this is really true? So, si Fatman again. So, he did predict that the proficiency, Fatman is a she, that the length, the LOR, will predict how they will learn the language. So, si Fatman, yung nakadiscover na itong LOR na to ay mahalaga, okay, in terms of exposing yourself to learn a language. So, going back, si Fatman, siya yung nag-coin sa term na LOR. Okay, si Fatman yan na the longer we stay in a certain place, the longer or the better we became the speaker of that certain language. Second is Wahlberg, Hayes, and Rasher. So according to them, they find a significant relationship between the LOR and the proficiency. So may difference. Sinasabi doon na there's a relationship with the length and there's a relationship with the proficiency. For example, student A stayed there for 2 months and student B stayed there for 5 months. Then, they realized that student A only got 19 over 30 in proficiency test and then the student B got 25 over 30 in the proficiency test. Therefore, we conclude na mas matagal ka pala doon, mas matagal yung LOR mo, ibig sabihin, mas okay yung proficiency mo sa language. And then, the same time with extrand, ito naman, yung research na nagpakita naman na no relationship between the LOR and the second language proficiency. Okay, so ano siya, parang iba siya dun sa research ni Fatman sa ni Wahlberg. But they discovered na kaya pala walang relationship. It is because 10.5 months lang pala yung nilaan niya. Meaning, totoo yung LOR. Dapat mas matagal ka dun para may epekto yung pag-acquire mo ng language. Okay? So, that's it for our exposure variable. LOR, the length of residence, is important since the length of residence will also determine how much we are exposed with the language. And then the fourth is age. Okay? When we talk about age, what do you think? It is just your opinion, Sinong mas natututo ng mabilis in terms of acquiring the language? Is it elders or is it the younger people? What do you think?
Bata.
Bata.
May
Angel,
think
for you,
po,
why?
Kasi po yung bata po, mas madali po silang maka-adapt, mas madali nilang matutunan. Yung sinasabi nga po na pag bata ka, mas madali kang matuto kaysa pag matanda ka, pag nag-aral ka. Ang ano lang po, pag bata, yung English nila parang minsan, di ba po may mga rules po pag sa English grammar po. Sa matanda po, pinag-aaralan po nila, pero hindi agad-agad matututunan nila. Napansin ko lang po yun sa anak ko. Nag-i-English po siya, hindi ko naman po siya tinuturuan.
Paano na-expose? Paano natuto yung anak mo, Angel, through exposure sa TV?
YouTube po, puro po yung mga language po doon. Tapos nagulat po ako minsan one time, bumili kami. Ang sabi ko po sa kanya, anong gusto mo? Tapos sabi niya po sa tindera, this one. Sabi po yung gano'n. Nagulat po ako.
Yeah, so it's according to experience that for Angel, it is the younger ones who learn more or learn better in language. Any other thoughts? Do you have any other thoughts? What do you think? Sino ba mas natututo? Is it the elder or the younger ones? So actually, in terms of this age, ang sabi nga dito, age is also a variable. Okay? On the way we learn a language. So, let's see. Younger acquirers are better at second language acquisition than older acquirers. So, that is according to research. So, Angel's answer a while ago is correct. Na mas natututo yung mga younger ones. May mga research doon, mga psychology research, hindi lang siya sa language eh. Parang mas mabilis daw matuto yung mga bata kesa sa mga matatanda. It is like parang meron daw part ng brain na pag sa bata, activated pa lahat, kaya mabilis makagrasp ng knowledge. Unlike with the adult, with the elders, parang may part na doon na lang nagpo-focus si brain, hindi na ganun ka-activated yung ibang part ng brain natin. Kaya kapag nakuha yung knowledge, hindi basta-basta. Kailangan pa ng conscious effort to acquire that certain knowledge. Okay? So, ganon. Yung parang sa structure of brain yon. And the other is that it can be argued, however, that age is not in itself a predictor of second language rate or attainment. So, meron silang disclaimer dito na age is not a cause alone. Para siyang affective filter. Hindi niya kayang mag-isa. For example, may bata. Tapos, sabi mo lang na, oh, bata yan. You are going to predict na that kid will easily learn the language. Kaya dapat turuan na natin. Ganun. No, it's not like that. There are still circumstances that we have to consider. And that here too, everything reduces to the quantity of comprehensible input and the level of affective filter. So, babalik at babalik pa rin tayo doon sa comprehensible input and sa affective filter na meron doon sa surroundings. Okay, kaya yung dalawang yun yung pinakamahalaga sa mga causative variables. Because parang ayun yung pinaka-main reason as to how the students learn a second language. So, this is according to Krashen, Long, and Scarcella. So, what they did discover, they have this research in terms of the age. Number one, adults proceed through the early stages of second language development faster than children do. So you see, yes, Kat?
Nag-choppy ka po, ma'am. Start po dun sa explanation po kay Krashen po.
Nag-automatic. Okay, sige. Ngayon, nag-choppy pa rin ba ako?
Hindi na po.
Siguro yun. Okay, yung internet ko yan ang salarin. Okay, so going back, si Krashen, si Long, and Scarcella proved if there is really if age is really a factor as to how we learn a language. Parang gusto nila ma-prove kung totoo ba na nakaka-apekto si age. And then they have this generalization. So gumawa sila ng research. Nag-research sila. And ito yung mga results ng research nila. Una, they discovered that the adults, okay, has this early stage of second language development faster than children do. So, adults proceed through the early stages. So, yung early stages ng pag-develop ng second language, mas mabilis daw sa adults. Why? Because they already have the processing, how their brain should process. Kaya mas mabilis yung pag-develop ng second language nila kung ma-activate man yon. Another, older children acquire faster than younger children. Time and exposure held constant. Okay? So, ayun yung condition. Yung time, tsaka yung exposure, kailangan nandun. Naglalaan talaga ng oras in order to acquire the language. Letter C, acquirers who begin natural exposure to second language during childhood generally achieve higher second language proficiency than those beginning as adults. Another factor daw kasi, yan, for example, si Angel. Si Angel, maybe, I think, maybe Angel would think that her child is better in speaking the English language. May ganun ka bang thoughts, Angel? Like, sa tingin mo parang mas okay pang mag-English tong anak ko Parang ganun. May ganun ka bang thoughts?
Opo, kasi ako nung elementary ako sa high school, di ako magaling mag-English hanggang ngayon eh.
Okay.
Kaya po
So,
natutuwa.
So you have that thought, diba? That you think your child is better in speaking the English language compared to you. Now, the thing is, according to Krashen, Long, and Scarcella, it is because your child is exposed to the English language at an early age compared to you. If you will go back, what is the time or when is the time that you are really exposed with the English language? I think your child almost every day uses the YouTube, watch English YouTube videos. That's why there's a time and exposure. There's a constant time and exposure to the language. Compared to you, although you are already an adult, back during your time, you are not really that exposed constantly with the English language. Baka natutumbang preso ka pa sa labas. Yung parang mga ganon. Hindi ka exposed. Even I have some cuties who are better with me in terms of speaking the language. It is because they are exposed as early as that age in using the language. Kaya feeling natin, mas magaling sila in speaking the second language. Okay? And then, before I proceed to the fifth, another thing that we discovered here with the age is that kaya kaya mas madali yung mga bata, you remember this, kaya mas madali yung mga batang maka-acquire ng language. It is because they only acquire simple language units. Okay? They only acquire simple language units, unlike to us adult. Why is it hard for us to acquire language? It is because our brain is like acquiring complex, okay, average to complex language units. Kaya mas matagal nating pinaprocess at mas matagal mag-sink in sa atin. Hindi tayo, parang hindi natin kontrolado kung ano yung na-acquire ni brain. Okay? At kadalasan, dahil hindi natin kontrolado, ang gusto i-acquire ni brain, yung average to complex language units. Kaya, nahihirapan tayo na i-acquire yung English language. Unlike with the kids, unlike with the children, their brain automatically acquires simple, okay, simple language units. That's why it's easy for them to process and it's easy for them to acquire the language. Okay, so that is another realization from the research of Krashen, Long, and Scarcella. Okay, so indeed, age is a variable as to how we learn language. For the fifth is the acculturation. So, acculturation, do you have an idea about what is acculturation? What is the root word of acculturation?
Culture po.
Okay, yes, Chloe. It is culture. So, if we immerse ourselves with the culture, okay, with the culture of that thing, therefore, we can learn the language. Okay? Anyone here who is a fan of K-pop, K-drama, or maybe anime, Japanese thing? Meron ba dito? May fan ba?
K-pop,
Yes po.
K-drama po.
Ayan, mga K-drama. Okay, so, sige, Chloe, di ba you watch K-drama, maybe you even listen to K-pop. Is there a time that you express, parang nag-e-express ka ng words in Korean or in Hangul? Parang nag-aaral ka rin ng Hangul?
Opo, ma'am.
Meron. Why? Bakit?
Ulit-ulit ko po kasing naririnig po yun sa pinapanood ko po.
Okay, it's because of repetition. How about Kat? Di ba may Korean ano ka rin ba? Korean lover?
Yes po. K-pop
Mhm.
fan po.
K-pop fan. So kabisado mo yung lyrics ng mga kanta.
Yung iba po. Yung
Mhm.
madadali po.
Okay. So na-acquire nyo rin yan. So thank you Chloe and Kat. So this acculturation, okay, tells us that the culture, when we embrace the culture of that second language, therefore, we can also learn the language easily. So, before we dwell more with acculturation, let's define it first. What is acculturation? So, as stated here, a process of social, psychological, and cultural change that stems from balancing of two cultures while adapting to the prevailing culture of the society. So, for example, you have the Filipino, the Tagalog language, and then you also have the Korean language. Let's just assume that Korean is our second language. So, dahil dito, because ganito nga tayo, Filipino tayo. We follow the Filipino culture. But there, we are also balancing ourselves, especially those K-pop fan, that there are they follow some lifestyle of Koreans. What are the examples? Drinking soju, noodles, di ba? Ano pa? Di ba? Marami tayong ina-adapt na culture din nila. Sa mga kwarto, anong itsura ng kwarto, anong itsura ng bahay. Walang, tawag dito, wala silang upuan. Parang kadalasan doon lang sila sa lapag, nakaupo. Yung mga ganong culture, ina-adapt din. Okay? So, that is acculturation. And then, is the modification of the culture of a group of or individual as a result of contact with a different culture. Meron ka naman ang culture, kung wari nagkakamay, or kaya, nagkakamay, ayun talaga yung culture ng mga Filipino. But because you were exposed with that second culture, for example, Korean, you wanted to use chopstick. Ano pa yung another sa pagkakamay? American, sila yung nagturo ng spoon and fork. Kasi dati nagkakamay lang naman tayo. And that is the result of acculturation. We have the culture, but we also embrace others' culture. At ayun na yung nagiging culture natin na paghahalo na. Okay? That is acculturation. Not necessarily na group yung gumagawa nun. Even you as individual, kasi kanya-kanya din naman tayo kung anong gusto mong paniwalaan. Even you as individual, we can acculture something. And according to this, to the research, acculturation is also a cost as to how we will learn a language or as to how we will acquire second language. So, this part because Kuhlman's acculturation hypothesis, siya yung parang proponent talaga nito. So, he hypothesized that acculturation is the major, take note, major cause of second language acquisition. Another is that it maintains that second language acquisition is just one aspect of acculturation. Okay? One aspect lang yan. And the degree to which the learner acculturates the target language group will control the degree to which he acquires the target language. So, meron ka ng target language at meron kang second language. Actually, target language and second language can be the same. First language is our native language. Yung target language, pag sinabi target language, ayun yung target mong matutunan. Yung target mong language na gustong ma-acquire. So, target language and second language is the same. So, according to this, yung second language acquisition daw ay isa lang sa mga aspeto ng pag-acculturate. Kasi, diba, we discovered that in language culture and society, when you learn a language, you also learn their culture. Therefore, when you want to learn this certain language, you have to embrace the culture of that place. Okay? And then, acculturation can be viewed as a means of gaining comprehensible input and lowering the filter. Totoo din naman. Kasi, kung hindi mo gusto, diba? Remember yung filter? Kapag hindi mo naman gusto matutunan yung language na yun, therefore, it will not be a good thing to learn. I remember parang nung nagmamasters ako, meron akong kaklase, Chinese kasi, Mandarin class yun. Tapos, yung kaklase ko na yun, hate niya yung mga Chinese. Kasi siguro may prinsipyo siya doon sa West Philippine Sea. Kaya ayaw niya matutunan yung Chinese. Ang ending, ayaw niyang malaman yung language, ayaw niyang malaman yung culture, o kung ano pa. Diba? May filter na nga, ayaw niya pang mag-acculturate. Kaya ang ending, hindi siya pumasa sa finals kasi nga, ayaw niya matuto. Okay? Ayun, those factors affect our language acquisition. Okay? Kapag ayaw mong i-embrace yung culture, paano mo i-embrace ang language? O, ayan, yung sa mga Korean, ang daming mga nagko-Korean, di ba? Ang daming mga nagsusulat na Korean kasi sabi nila madali lang naman daw matutunan yon. Why? Bakit naririnig natin silang kumakanta? Bakit naririnig natin silang nag-aaral ng Korean or Hangul? It is because their attitudes towards that. Pati yung culture na acquire na nila. di ba? Na-embrace na nila. So it's easy for them to learn or to acquire the Korean language. Okay? So, are you getting my point? Nagigets po ba?
Yes po.
Okay, that's good. So, that is acculturation. So, there are two types of acculturation. So, we have the type 1 and the type 2. Di ba? Distinction na, napaka-distinct ng pangalan eh. So, for the type 1, how can we say that you are a type 1 acculturated? So, it is stated here, socially integrated with native speakers of the target language. So, you can speak with the people. Okay, you can speak with the people using that language. Develop sufficient contact with speakers. Hindi lang hi, hello, how are you? Hindi lang yon. You can establish rapport to that person. That's type 1. And then psychologically open to target language. Although you are acculturating this language, you are still open with your own language and to other languages. Okay? That is type 1. Now, type 2, same lang naman siya ng type 1, pero may nadagdag lang na isa. The learner regards the native speakers as reference group whose lifestyle and values he adopts. Okay? So, ayun na yung type 2. Pati yung lifestyle, pati yung way of living, pati yung values, kinuha mo na. For example, you have Japanese as your second language. Now, if you are a type 1 acculturated person, type 1 acculturation ka lang, therefore, you can speak Japanese, you can interact with Japanese people, and you can establish conversation to them naturally, hindi yung pilit. But if you are a type 2 acculturated person, you can also establish rapport, you can create eye contact, you can have a long conversation with them, but you also follow the values that you believe people should be disciplined, yung bagbaw nila, yung mga ganon. Kasi kung type 1 ka lang, hindi ka siguro ganun magbabaw, hindi gaano. But if you are type 2, yung mga values, attitudes nila, gagayahin mo rin. Kasi you believe that when you learn the language, also you have to learn even all the cultures, including the lifestyle and the personalities. Okay, so that's it for the type 1 and type 2. I hope I was able to differentiate these two well. So, you see, these are the social factors, social dominance. Ano bang language yung dominant these days? Integration pattern, be integrated with different part of our life. Enclosure, cohesiveness, size, gaano kalaki yung population, attitude, and the length of residence, even the LOR. Kasi depende eh. If you will look at the yung five causative variables, they are all interrelated. Parang you cannot live alone. For example, may comprehensible input nga. Kasi yung exposure, konti lang, pati yung LOR. Meaning, hindi rin may establish ng ganon. Kaya lahat yan, yung 5 causative variables, they are interrelated. And when you learn the second language, all of these 5 should be put or should be considered. And then the language shock, we have that. Culture shock, motivation, and then the ego permeability. Like, you believe that your language is better or less with the target language. That those are the things that is part of acculturation. Okay, so that's it. There's also the Heidelberg Project. So may discover sila, may research nung si Schumann. So he discovered that either leisure or work can encourage the language acquisition. And then confirms that interaction with comprehensible input can cause language acquisition. Okay? So, ayun siya. Like, for example, whenever you speak to your friends, imagine if all your friends are English speakers, I doubt if you will have difficulty in terms of acquiring the language because you really need to also speak in English. You are practicing it, you're being exposed to it, especially if your friends gives you a comprehensible input. And then another research is the case of Alberto. So who is this Alberto? So who appeared to be at home. So gumawa sila ng study sa isang tao. And then this person, he is a Spanish-speaking adult. Okay? Spanish-speaking adult to. Now, this Spanish-speaking adult lives in United States. And he lives in a considerable psychological and social distance from English speakers. Sakto lang. Hindi siya ma-socialize. Hindi rin siya as in super enclosed na siya lang, buhay niya lang. Sakto lang. So, anong na-realize nila dito? So, there is what we call pidginization. So, later we'll discuss that. The lack of several grammatical morphemes, little use of inversion, and use of primitive transitional forms in negation. So, this factor is that Alberto fits the acculturation hypothesis. Why? Because hindi siya ganun nakikipag-interact. Less comprehensible input ang nakukuha niya. Less exposure, and even the age, if you will look closely. Therefore, ano nangyari? Less language acquisition ang naganap kay Alberto. Hindi niya gano'n na-acquire yung language because the acculturation process is not that good. Okay? Hindi niya na-embrace yung culture, hindi niya na-embrace yung maybe yung mga pronunciation, stresses, and intonation, may mga kulang sa paggamit niya ng language na yun. So, that's it. Now, regarding the pidginization and creolization, remember, meron tayong pidgin and creole topic on the first semester, the language, culture, and society. Sa pidgin, ito yung gawa-gawa pa lang. Si creole, ito na yung language mismo. Si pidgin, nabuo siya, okay, para siyang raw, nabuo na language just for the sake of communication. Now, Creole is the language that is already agreed by everyone na ito na yung gagamitin nating language. So, almost the same, pero parang ang ganap si Creole, siya yung official na language. So, a grammatical simplified means of communication. Bakit ba may pidginization sa acculturation? Meaning, kinukuha mo yung language ng iba, isasama mo sa'yo. Okay? Pinaghahalo mo yung culture na meron kayo. Pero simplified to in order to make a communication work. Okay? Typically, its vocabulary and grammar are limited. Okay? Kasi nga, initial stages pa lang to form a communication. And then we also have enculturation. So, this enculturation naman, ito na yung parang hinalo mo na talaga, kinuha mo na yung mismong culture sa culture mo. Si acculturation kasi, kahit pa paano, there's a distinction. Pero si enculturation, as in-embrace mo na, in-assimilate mo na yung culture mo sa culture nito. The case of European elite professionals who acquire English in their own countries. Ito, yung mga European elite. Parang meron sila dating sarili nilang language, being an elite. Pero kinuha na rin nila yung language ng mga English sa ibang country. And then, acculturation is necessary for pidginization with low filter and appropriate comprehensible input. Again, these two, the filter and the input, like you can only acculturate if you have a good or a positive attitude to acquire the culture and at the same time the language. Kung wala tong dalawang to, therefore pidginization will not occur as well as the acculturation. And then the Creole, okay na. Parang na-establish na. Kasi si Pidgin, hindi pa siya buo eh. You look limited yung mga language units. Pero si Creole, hindi na siya limited kasi established na siya. Formal na. So, it is a combined language. Tingnan nyo, language na yung ginamit between two speakers to have a communication. Okay? And then, Creole speakers gradually acquire closer version of standard as they are acculturated into the target culture. This acculturation brings them into contact with speakers of the standard and makes them more open. Dahil nga nangyari si acculturation, mas open ka na i-accept yung culture ng language na ito. Nakita nyo, nangyari na yung creolization. Meaning, nag-combine na talaga yung dalawang language. At dahil sa nag-combine na yung dalawang language na to, they are both open to acquire even the culture itself. Okay? So, and lastly is that acculturation motivates second language acquisition. So, sabi dito, for example, us, if we wanted to learn the English language, therefore, acculturation should be there. How? One good example, what are the culture of, for example, American? Let's have them. The American, the burger, di ba? Yung mga kinakain nila, yung burger, ano pa yung mga culture na meron sila? Being liberated, being more open-minded, kasi conventional tayo tayong mga Filipino. So, if we, for example, parang ganito yun if we acquire their culture, somehow, we are also acquiring their language. Okay? So, that's the thing about acculturation in creolization. Okay? So, that's it for our so again, ayun yung pinagkaiba. Yung Creole is established na, si Pidgin, ayun yung initial pa lang. And then, look at this thing. The difference is that acculturation is necessary motivating force for movement along the decreolization. Kasi nga, magiging Creole lang siya. Ito, sa pagkuha natin ng culture, kuwari de Creole, ibig sabihin, gumagawa ka na naman ng panibagong culture at your own stake. And then, it is the only way to filter down and obtain comprehensible input. So, if there's an acculturation, syempre, both of you, okay, the two speakers, kuwari Filipino and then American, kung wari lang may mangyayaring acculturation. Dahil sa acculturation na yun, both of them are open with the culture, with each other's culture, kaya naman mas low yung filter. Unlike pag nagpapataas na ng ego, mas maganda yung language ko kaysa sa'yo. If that's the attitude, therefore you will not acculturate and you will not learn the second language. So, this thing, acculturation, and there are many techniques for bringing down the filter that have nothing to do with acculturation. So you have to remember, si acculturation, isang factor lang siya, pero yung filter kasi malawak. Motivation, self-confidence, so ganun. Maraming factor in terms of acculturating. So, again, what are the 5 causative variables? Anyone? What are the 5?
Hindi po.
Okay, Chloe?
Comprehensive input, affective
Okay.
filter, exposure variable, ages, and acculturation.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Chloe, for that. So, those are the 5 causative variables. And we are going to discuss it further when you present to us your research according to each field or to each variable that I have assigned to you. So, do you have any questions, clarifications for your upcoming next week? Okay, we will start this, yun pala, yung arrangement. The arrangement is this na. Ito na yung arrangement natin. Acculturation group will be the first, followed by affective, then the age, comprehensible input, and last is the exposure. Question, Chloe? I think you're raising your hand.
Ma'am, pwede pong medyo, sa comprehensive input po, ma'am. Pwede pong
Yes.
isa pa pong pasada po kasi po medyo nagpapalad pa po ako.
Okay, sige. Balikan natin si comprehensible input. So, pag sinabi natin comprehensible input, isipin nyo na lang yung, ito yung lesson na dapat nyo matutunan. Okay? So, for example, si grade 1. Si grade 1 ba, dapat ba turuan natin siya agad ng, for example, subject-verb agreement? Ayan ba yung comprehensible? Tingin mo, Chloe, ayun ba yung comprehensible input or lesson na dapat kay grade 1?
Hindi po, ma'am.
Okay. So, kadalasan, we are the teachers or the curriculum itself give this grade 1 greetings, 'di ba? Ano pa? Yung polite words, and then emphatic words, ayun yung mga binibigay sila because they believe that these are the comprehensible input that is good for grade 1. Since if we do the SVA, yung subject-verb agreement, far na yun doon sa alam nila mismo. Okay? Kasi ang level lang nila, kung sino lang yung na-i-interact nila. Okay? Another thing, the language input that can be understood by listeners despite them not understanding all the words and structures in it. So, tingnan nyo to. Ito yung definition niya. Ito yung mga input na kahit hindi mo makita, as in hindi mo fully maintindihan, you can still understood it. Kahit hindi mo tingnan yung buong structure ng sentence, maiintindihan mo. Why? Because it is just one level above your current level. Meaning, meron ka ng stock knowledge, meron ka ng foundation, may alam ka na, at pinataas lang yun ng konti, ng one level. Describe as one level. So, ayun lang siya. Parang, it's like I plus 1. Whenever you teach, parang ganun siya eh. Whenever you teach something, you have to make sure, this is according to Krashen, because this is a factor, that it should be one level above your current level. Pero nga kasi, ang critic comprehensible input, parang paano ba natin malalaman yung current level sa bawat student, iba-iba sila. Kaya nga ang basis na lang yung grade level, halimbawa yung grade 1, yung grade 2. Pero kung iisa-isahin mo talaga sila, iba-iba sila ng level Sige, let's just be specific with the proficiency. Kahit proficiency level na lang yan, iba-iba pa rin yan. Okay? So, ayun lang naman yung negative side ni comprehensible input. But if we look closely to this variable, mahalaga siya. Siya yung pinakamahalaga kasi nga ito yung puso. It doesn't matter if you learn it inside the classroom or you learn it outside. But the thing is, dapat tama yung inaaral mo. Yung word na rendezvous, kunwari yung word na rendezvous, yung word ba na yun, I think, comprehensible input pa siya for a 6 years old. I doubt if it's a comprehensible input. First thing is that hindi naman yun laging nagagamit ng grade 6. Ng isang 6-year-old. Diba? Parang sa mga kalaro niya, ano-ano yung mga comprehensible input na magagamit niya. Come on, let's play. Yung mga expression na ganon. Mga interjections. Yung mga ganon. Ibig sabihin, isasakto mo yung level ng bata at yung comprehensible input na ibibigay mo sa kanya. Something wherein that language or that comprehensible input will be in use in natural communication. Okay? So, ayun po ang comprehensible input. Ayun lang yung mga lesson, yung mga lecture. Hindi siya as in, kasi pag sinabi nating lesson and lecture, parang limited lang siya sa classroom Pero yung comprehensible input is more than that. Kahit outside the classroom, yung mga words na natututunan natin, comprehensible input yun. Basta nagagamit mo in your everyday living. Okay po? Chloe, are we clear? Or there's still some question?
Ma'am,
Yes, Kat?
yung sa pag-report po next week na sa research po. May allotted minutes lang po ba na kailangan?
Yes po. 20 to 30 minutes po ang allotted per group.
Okay po, thank you po.
Okay, welcome. Any other question? So, i-ready nyo na siya. Mag-Google Meet na lang tayo. Okay, for that. Any other concern, clarification? Naroon pa ba? Yes, Angel?
Wala na po.
Okay, wala na. Sorry. Okay, so okay na tayo. Chloe, Catherine, Angel, and Miles for this afternoon.
Ma'am, may tanong po ako.
Or sige po.
So, bali po sa 20 po, ma'am, makakapag-report po yung lahat po ng group kasi po tig to 20 minutes lang po.
Oo, ganun na yung bala ko. Parang I'll announce it later na let's make it like everyone will present na on that. Pero pag hindi umabot, tsaka na lang natin
Okay po. Yung
Tuesday, Thursday.
mga pinapatake note nyo po, ma'am, yun lang po yung i-report po namin sa klase po.
Yung naka-outline, yung topic.
Yun lang po. Thank you po.
Yes po. Yes, welcome. Actually, madali lang siya. Parang pinaghanap ko lang kayo ng research. Yun, parang, syempre dapat maganda yung research kasi isa lang naman. And then, i-report nyo lang yung parang result ng research na yon. And then, ipoprove nyo lang doon kung totoo ba na causative variable ito. Either positive, either may relationship nga si variable na napunta sa inyo to language acquisition. Depende doon sa research nyo. Parang ganun lang. Ipoprove lang natin kung oo o hindi, depending on your research. Para rin magkaroon kayo ng in-depth understanding regarding kahit isa-isang variable. Okay? So, clear na po ba? Another yung sa teaching implication. Okay, this is for everyone naman. When we talk yes, Angel.
Sa reporting po, ma'am, sunod-sunod po kami. Mag-umpisa po dun sa sa acculturation po.
Yes po. Opo. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Parang magsasalita lang ako saglit for the next group to prepare. Ganun. Parang ipe-present niya na pag okay na din, it's either you make it recorded or you make it live. It depends. Okay, so again, yung sa teaching implication regarding this, you will not find it in the research. Okay, you will find it in your heart. I mean, from what in your mind, like what does this research imply? Parang anong nakuha nyo dahil nalaman nyo to, anong gagawin ko as future educator? Something like that. So sometimes they will include those answers. You can get the answers in the conclusion, maybe, but not all the time. So it is you being future educator, like what can this research be used of? Me being a future educator. That's the teaching implication. Okay, so any more question, clarification? Ready na kayo mag-report next week?
Wala na po, ma'am.
Okay na, sige. That's good. Thank you.